Let's talk about social media. When was the last time you walked into a restaurant and saw an entire table of friends on their phones, or a group of people on the streets, or maybe your family in the morning, each of them content to be on their own world, nearly unaware of the reality around them? If the majority of human interaction is non-verbal, what would happen if you remove everything but the small remainder for over a decade? And that is the very experiment that we live in today. I remember when I was growing up, way back in the days, a primitive time before everyone had a cell phone and computers were named after the year that they were made. Okay, I am not saying that I'm a dinosaur, but I grew up in a very unique time, where half of my childhood was without the major technology platforms that seems to rule part of our lives today. And the other half of my childhood was rapidly slingshotted into a new age of technology. I remember from the earlier half of my childhood, life was completely different, especially human interaction. If you needed to talk to someone, you had no other alternative but to physically go out and meet them and spend some time with them at the same room or in a park. While you were there was nothing interrupting you trying to grab your attention. There was nothing at the back of your mind constantly reminding you that there are thousands of other people sharing some information that you may be missing out of. That level of presence, practiced daily, created a certain richness in human interaction, with bits and pieces of the fabrics that build traditional human interaction slowly and gradually lost the further we progress into the new age of technology. With the rise in popularity of documentaries such as The Social Dilemma, it is safe to conclude that there is a growing concern and realization of the dangers posed by social media in today's generation. The terrifying part of the problem is quite simple. There is a massive mismatch between adaptation in advancement between human biology and technology. Because of the law of accumulating returns, the rate of advancement in information technology is exponential, and while technology continues to grow rapidly, we are left trying to figure out if it actually impacts us, especially when we are teaching algorithms to predict and modulate our behavior. I think it is well beyond any reasonable doubt that social media is extremely addictive, and its addiction falls right in the same symptoms as substance abuse, through the exploitation of dopamine release. But what we don't quite know yet is how this addiction over time changes not only our behavior through hacking our positive reinforcement centers of the brain, but how over time it changes our perception of reality itself. The terrifying reality is that almost every company in our modern society has exploited the dopamine reward system. Millions of experts are designing their products and social media platforms to release as much dopamine as possible in order to make us hooked to their products. That is why social media platforms switch from the chronological feeds to algorithm-based feeds. That is why video games too have ranking systems and levels to them. They keep giving us constant shots of dopamine as we scroll through posts and from one gaming level to the next. What makes it very easy for us to get hooked is that it doesn't require any efforts from us. We simply have to consume, and we are constantly rewarded massive shots of dopamine. When we first started using social media, we had far more in-person interactions than we did online. But now, in a time when we have thousands of friends, acquaintances, celebrities, and online personalities that we keep up with online, we have gradually over time replaced the majority of our interaction to be purely digital. We have already started to see the symptoms of the very binary interpretation of human interaction. It is very worrisome to think that our upcoming generation's digital presence may end up being more important than their in-person presence. So what is the solution to this problem? Do we shut down the entire social media environment? Do we pull the plug on big tech? I don't think so. I don't think that is the solution. The truth is, we have caused a very big problem, and this is the reality that we are faced with right now. The first step to solving the problem is already underway. That is awareness. If you become conscious of how social media is affecting you physically and mentally, it gives you a degree of control over your behavior. Beyond awareness, it is very important to maintain the balance between in-person and digital interaction. You must view the world in a lens that is 100% fully human communication. That is body language, emotions, facial expressions, tonality. It is what human beings were designed to do. If we can maintain that balance, we can begin to have a healthy relationship with our online presence and retain control of the influence these platforms and technologies have on our lives. These algorithms are based on human behavior and response, and that is something we have control over. Take some small steps and uninstall some social media platforms from your phone. Remove some of the convenience accessing these platforms. If you use a phone for work, when the day is done, find some time to spend with your family and friends. Get rid of your phone and be fully present to the people that you are with. And you just might notice that the world is not quite as crazy as it seems, and the life in front of you is beautiful, not depressing.